So, today we're going to dive into something that is an absolute game changer for how you think and make decisions. We're talking about mental models. It's a fundamental shift in how you see the world. So let's just get right into it. Have you ever had this happen? You lay out the perfect plan. You've thought of every single detail, but then somewhere along the line, things just go completely off the rails. It happens to literally all of us. And the reason, more often than not, comes down to a really basic error in how we're looking at the world.
Okay, so the first, and you could argue the most important mental model to really get your head around is this one. The map is not the territory. This is such a powerful idea. It's a reminder that our models of reality, they aren't reality itself. Our plans, our spreadsheets, our own ideas about who we are, those are all just maps. The territory? Well, that's the messy, complex, totally unpredictable world we actually live in. And this isn't a flaw in our thinking, it's more of a feature. Our brain's way of saving energy. But when the stakes are high, relying on a bad map can be an absolute disaster.
This example just makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? On paper, that resume, the map, it can look perfect. It checks every single box. But in the real world, the territory, the person just can't do the job. We see this all the time, and it perfectly highlights just how dangerous it is to mistake our simple models for the real complex thing. So, if our maps are always going to be a little bit flawed, what are we supposed to do about it? Well, we can build a better toolkit. Instead of just relying on one single lonely map, we can start collecting a whole diverse set of mental models to help us see that territory way more clearly. The legendary investor Charlie Munger, he just framed this idea perfectly. He basically said that the key is to borrow the most powerful ideas from a bunch of different fields. You don't have to become an expert in everything. You just need to get a handle on the big ideas that have proven themselves over and over again. And that is exactly what a mental model is. At its core, it's just an explanation for how something works. Think of it like a tool that takes a super complex system and squishes it down into something you can actually use to think better and, hopefully, make much smarter decisions. So, to make this really tangible, let's explore 3 incredibly useful models that you can start putting in your own mental toolkit, like right now. All right, our first tool is something called second-order thinking. Now, most of us, we stop at the immediate result of a decision. This model forces you to ask a really simple but profound question over and over. And then what? What are the ripple effects? What happens after the immediate thing happens? And then what? And right here, you can really see the contrast. First-order thinking, that's the easy stuff. It's our default setting, that knee-jerk reaction that feels good in the moment. But second-order thinking, that's like playing chess. You're not just thinking about your next move. You're thinking 3, 4, 5 moves ahead, trying to see how the whole game will unfold. Next up, we've got inversion, which is this brilliantly counterintuitive tool. See, we're all trained to think forward about how to achieve our goals. Inversion flips that completely on its head. It asks you to think about what you want to avoid. By getting super clear on what would cause you to fail, you can just sidestep all the common traps that trip everybody else up. And using it is surprisingly simple. Let's say your goal is to be a great investor. Instead of asking how to succeed, you ask, okay, what would guarantee that I fail? Well, the answers are kind of obvious, right? Lose all my money, make rash emotional decisions, do zero research. All of a sudden, the path forward is way clearer. Just don't do those things. Our third tool is a timeless classic you've probably heard of, Occam's razor. When you're looking at a bunch of different explanations for something, this model says, hey, start with the simplest one, the one that has the fewest ifs, ands, or buts. It's an amazing shortcut for just cutting through all the noise and unnecessary complexity. But, and this is a really, really important but, it's a razor, not a law. It's a starting point. The simplest explanation is the one you should look at first, but it is not always the right one. You have to use your judgment to figure out when a situation is genuinely complex and actually needs a more complex explanation. Now, having these individual tools is a fantastic start. But the real magic, the thing that changes the game, happens when you start connecting them together. When you build what Charlie Munger famously called a latticework of mental models. A latticework isn't just a random pile of tools in a toolbox. It's an interconnected framework. You're weaving together these big ideas from physics and biology and economics and psychology to build this really robust structure for your thinking. Each model makes the others even stronger.
And this is where it gets so powerful, because you can combine them. Think about a huge career decision. Okay, using inversion, you'd ask, what would make my career a total train wreck? Maybe the answer is being bored stiff, not learning anything new, and having no freedom. Now let's bring in second-order thinking. A safe job offer might look really good right now. That's first-order thinking. And then what? Well, maybe in a year, you're bored, you've stopped learning, and you've landed right in the middle of the disaster you wanted to avoid. See, that's the lattice work in action.
So why does any of this matter? Because when you have this interconnected lattice work, you just see the world differently. You can look at a problem from all these different angles. You start to see patterns and spot opportunities that other people who are kind of stuck in one way of thinking are going to miss completely. And look, this whole thing, it's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being a committed learner. It's about having the humility to, stand on the shoulders of giants, to just master the best of what humanity has already figured out. And in that sense, it's one of the greatest shortcuts to wisdom that exists. So as we wrap up, the most important question is really for you. We've talked about seeing the world as a territory, not a map. We've walked through second-order thinking, inversion, and Occam's razor. So which one of these really clicks with you? What's the very first tool you're going to consciously add to your own mental toolkit?